Heartwarming twist, little girl's incredible act to save mom uncovers hidden billionaire dad. Mia Hart had always seen the world through vibrant shades of hope and love, but that sunny view dimmed when her mother, Sarah, fell mysteriously ill. At just 8 years old, Mia had grown accustomed to scraping by, eagerly helping her hard-working single mother balance endless shifts at the diner with cleaning jobs around the neighborhood. But the reality of their struggle hit harder than ever when Sarah, usually so full of life, was brought low by a fever that wouldn't break. Mia watched with wide eyes as her mother, once the spark of their home, now lay fragile and pale, the bed sheets rising and falling like the heavy weight in Mia's chest. She felt so much love and yet, so much fear. Mia knew her mom needed her now more than ever. "I can do this," she whispered to herself, determination igniting within her. The walls of their small home felt like they were closing in, drowning them in anxiety about rent and bills. With a deep breath, Mia leaned into the motivation clinging to her heart. "A bake sale," she exclaimed, excitement flooding her cheeks with color. If she could raise money, maybe she could help pay the rent and get her mom the perfect soup to make her feel better. Luckily, her friends were eager to join in, pairing chocolate chips with sprinkles, mixing batter as laughter filled the kitchen. As they rolled cookies and braided challah bread, lives intertwined, their backgrounds blending like the colorful frosting on the baked goods. But sometimes, comments slipped through with a sting, whispers of being lesser or different. Yet, Mia reminded her friends, "We're not just what we have. We are each other." Just as word of their bake sale spread, there came storm clouds in the form of Mr. Thompson, the businessman in a sharp suit whose name barely hovered in their minds until it thundered through the community. The playground, their gathering place, was to be replaced by luxury apartments. Fear mixed with fury, rallying parents and kids alike into action. Mia felt a flutter of indignation. They had to protect their cherished memories, their community spirit. Then, amidst the uproar, came a shattering truth. Mr. Thompson, the man intent on tearing down their playground, was not just any businessman, he was her father, a billionaire she never met. The news hit her like a fist. Could he really have chosen wealth over family? Her heart twisted with abandonment and confusion. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Every corner of her childhood threatened to shift, teetering on the brink of her newfound legacy. Mia's gaze flickered between the bake sale and a confrontation with the man whose absence had echoed through her life. Could her father even understand the value of laughter and the warmth of a loving community? As protests loomed, she felt an intense pull toward justice, toward standing up not only for her mom but for all the kids who grew up there. With everything at stake, Mia stood resolute, heart racing. Would she reclaim the father who abandoned her or fight for the home built on love? The world felt heavy, but she couldn't ignore the flicker of hope lighting her path. All she knew was that she needed to choose, and whatever came next, it would change everything. Mia stood in the middle of her kitchen, the sweet scent of baked goods swirling around her like a warm hug. Friends bustled about, chatting and laughing, but her mind was a turbulent sea. She felt torn between wanting to save the playground and confronting the father she never knew. Suddenly, laughter erupted from her friends, breaking her reverie. The energy in the room was infectious, and for a moment, she allowed herself to savor it. But the joy waned when thoughts of Mr. Thompson flooded back. He had a power to crush their dreams with a single signature. Every announcement about the playground felt like a stab in her small heart. The community was more than a patch of grass and swings, it was her home. And it risked being torn apart by the very man who should have been a part of her life. As the bake sale preparations continued, Mia's friends were rallying behind her, filling boxes with cookies and making colorful posters. "We can do this, right?" Mia said nervously, glancing at her best friend, Ellie. Ellie smiled, her curly hair bouncing with excitement. Absolutely. We'll raise enough money to stop Mr. Thompson. Mia nodded, but doubt lingered. What if they raised enough for soup but not enough to save the playground? She didn't know how they'd pull it off. That night, as she lay down beside her sleeping mother, Mia's heart ached. The rhythmic sound of Sarah's breathing calmed her, yet the unsettling reality clawed at her. Each breath felt tenuous. Would her mom recover? Would Mia even get the chance to fight for her mother and her home? Determination swelled within her. The next day, she and Ellie stood by the roadside, brightening the neighborhood with their hand-painted signs. Support our playground. Help us help our mom. Cars whooshed by, some slowing down to wave or honk, instilling a flicker of hope in Mia's heart. Look! Ellie pointed excitedly. It's working. Heads turned, more families began gathering around to join their cause. The kids held their heads high, exuding a fierce pride. They were building a fortress made of friendship and love, standing up against the storm that threatened to drown them. They all shared the common purpose: protect what was theirs. Suddenly, a sleek car pulled up, sleek and polished, startling Mia. She froze as Mr. Thompson stepped out, his tailored suit contrasting starkly against the kids' worn clothes. A knot formed in her stomach. This was the moment she dreaded. "What is going on here?" he asked, his tone clipped and cold. The children gathered around Mia, their shared resolve pouring from their expressions. "We won't let you take our playground," one brave boy yelled. Mr. Thompson raised an eyebrow, unimpressed. "And why should I care what you want?" Mia's heart pounded in her chest. This was her chance, her only chance to reach him. Because this playground isn't just a piece of land. It's where we all played, where we laughed, and where families have bonded, she shouted, voice trembling but fierce. It's a part of our lives. His expression softened for a brief moment. But just as quickly, it hardened again. "That's nice, kid. But I have plans. And your little bake sale won't change that." Defiance surged within her, burning like fierce flames. "You don't understand." She cried out, feeling the weight of her mother's care, the love of her friends around her. "You're my father. You can choose family, choose us." His eyes widened in shock, and for a heartbeat, the world seemed to pause. Mia's words lingered in the air, hanging over them like an unbroken promise. Would her words reach him? Or would he remain a shadow in her life, standing between her and the love she longed for? The answer spaces between them like a chasm waiting to be crossed, and Mia could only hope he would step forward. Mia held her breath, anticipation crackling in the air like electricity. Mr. Thompson's gaze darted around, momentarily frozen, like he was processing everything she had just laid bare. The playground, her mother, the hope that bloomed in every child's heart, it all hung in the balance of his next words. But the moment shattered when he shook his head, a smirk creeping across his face. "Family?" he scoffed. "What a charming notion. But I don't even know you." His dismissive tone cut like a knife, and Mia felt her heart sink. He was right. They were strangers bound by a father-daughter connection that felt more like barbed wire than the embrace she had yearned for. Ellie stepped forward, fists clenched at her sides. "You can't just take from us. We won't let you." Her voice rang out loudly, echoing the shared desperation of all the kids surrounding Mia. Anxiety fluttered in Mia's chest. Would they all stand strong against the man who merely looked like a villain stepping out of a storybook? "Do you really think your protests will stop me?" Mr. Thompson asked, his voice a mix of amusement and annoyance. "I have more pressing matters to attend to than dealing with this childish game." He glanced at his watch, clearly unimpressed. At that moment, a small boy, no more than 6, tugged on Mia's sleeve. "Miss Mia, are we going to save the swings?" His innocent question, laced with hope, ignited something within her. She turned to face her peers, their eyes wide with anticipation, hearts entwined in solidarity. Let us show him just how important this playground is. Mia declared, her voice rising above her uncertainty. The kids erupted in cheers, a chorus of voices ringing out in defiance. Yeah. Our playground. One shouted, others echoed, we won't give up. Mr. Thompson frowned, taken aback by the sudden surge of determination. You children, you don't realize how the world works, do you? He began, incredulity painted across his features. Mia felt the pulse of bravery surge through her veins. We do. And if you want us to give up, then you don't know us. Family is about more than blood. It's about love, community, and standing together. She stepped forward, her heart racing as she held his gaze. For the first time, there was a flicker of something in his eyes, confusion maybe, or regret. The crowd around her grew silent, the weight of her words settling in. Do you remember being a kid? Playing with friends without a care in the world? She pressed, her voice softer now, almost pleading. Help us save that for the other kids. Be part of something good. Reset your legacy. He hesitated, a muscle twitching in his jaw as he weighed her challenge against the life he had built. The children's faces, expectant and hopeful, glanced between the two of them. She could almost hear her heart pounding in the silence. But then he chuckled, the sound sharp and devoid of warmth. Nice try, kid. But you're wasting your time. He turned on his heel, striding back toward his car, leaving a cloud of disbelief behind him. Mia's heart shattered. The playground seemed to shrink in her mind, diminishing into a distant dream. Hey, don't let him get to you. Ellie shouted, stepping next to her, squeezing her hand. We'll keep fighting, won't we guys? A chorus of affirmations rang out. Mia fought back tears, her spirit lifted slightly by the unwavering commitment around her. The love of her friends filled her chest again, warming the cold fear of defeat. But deep down, she couldn't help but wonder. Was this it? Would Mr. Thompson ever truly care? Or was the playground destined to fall under his cold ambition? As they gathered their resolve and planned their next moves, Mia felt determination ignite within her. There had to be more she could do. She needed to find a way to reach him, to uncover the part of him that might still listen. What if she could reach his heart through that distant connection of blood? With that thought driving her forward, Mia's mind raced with ideas. Could she use his past to change his mind? Unbeknownst to her, the stakes were about to get much higher, and she had no idea just how deep the roots of her connection to Mr. Thompson really ran. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the playground that had once been a place of joy. Mia stood there, her heart heavy with disappointment. But even through the gloom, a spark of determination flared inside her. She wouldn't let Mr. Thompson's dismissal be the last word. All right, what's the plan? Ellie asked, her eyes bright with resolve. The other kids nodded in agreement, eager to fight for their cherished playground. Mia took a deep breath, her voice steadying. I think we need to learn more about Mr. Thompson. Maybe there is something we can find that will help us understand him better or even change his mind. The group exchanged glances, surprise mingling with hope. What if we check at the library? Suggested Jake, a quiet boy who mostly kept to himself. I heard there might be records about him or his company. Yes. Mia exclaimed, the inspiration igniting a fire in her spirit. If we can find out why he wants to take the playground away, we can use that against him. Maybe he has a soft spot or something from his past that will show he cares. They crowded around her, a tangle of excited whispers and hurried plans. With every passing moment, Mia felt more like a leader, and the thought warmed her heart. She was not alone, she had her friends rallying behind her. Together, they grabbed their bikes and sped off towards the library, each pedal a stroke of rebellion against the darkness that threatened to overpower their dreams. Once they arrived, the hum of the old building enveloped them. Dust motes danced in the air as they found their way to the history section. Mia's fingers tingled as she thumbed through the pages of a yellowed old book, hope bubbling inside her chest. "Here!" Ellie exclaimed, pointing to a black and white photograph. "That's him. And look, he's standing next to a playground." The picture showed young Mr. Thompson, a little boy brimming with laughter, amidst a group of children swinging and sliding. "He used to play here." Jake mused, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. "Do you think that was his playground?" Mia pored over the picture, her thoughts racing. Maybe, just maybe, if we could remind him of his childhood, he could see how important it is to kids now. She turned to her friends, determination reignited. "This is it. We need to gather more evidence. We can work together to show him what he's tearing apart." Hours flew by as they uncovered snippets of information about Mr. Thompson's early life and his family. Each piece painted a portrait of a boy who had dreams just like there's a boy who deserved connection and care. As they set out to compile their findings, laughter bubbled up in the shelves around them, the warmth of friendship wrapping Mia like a soft blanket. But just as her spirits lifted, a sudden chill crept over her. What if he was too far gone? What if the man before her was just a shadow of the boy in the picture? That night, as Mia lay in bed, the weight of unanswered questions and unexpected discoveries pressed on her chest. She wondered if she really could reach him. Doubt seeped in, unraveling the brave facade she had built. Was their playground really worth it? The memory of Mr. Thompson's smirk loomed in her mind, chilling her resolve. But she pushed the thoughts away, reminding herself of the children and the joy they deserved. If the little boy in the photo could once find happiness, maybe Mr. Thompson still had it buried deep inside him. As sleep finally began to pull her under, a wild thought struck her: what if she could confront him again, but this time with a personal story of her own? After all, why not show him that family is more than just someone you don't know? That lingering idea sparked within her, a tantalizing thread of possibility. She needed to find a way to unleash the emotions of her own story. What if sharing her journey could compel him to remember his? And with that thought, a plan began to form. Would her next step pull him closer or push him further away? Mia's dreams were tangled with hopes of bright sunshine painting the playground, echoing with laughter and joy. She woke with a new sense of purpose lighting a fire in her chest. Today wouldn't just be about fighting for the playground. Today would be about sharing a piece of herself, a piece she hoped could reach the hidden boy inside Mr. Thompson. As the morning sun filtered through her window, casting golden rays, Mia mapped out her plan in her mind. She grabbed her journal and started writing down her feelings. It was painful, raw emotions bubbled, memories of her own childhood, trips to the park, her mother guiding her through her first wobbly steps on the swings. Those moments mattered, a lifetime of joy wrapped up in the mundane. Once she got to school, her friends gathered by the lockers. They listened intently as she explained her plan. "I think I need to tell him about how important the playground is to me and to all of us. If I share my story, it might help him remember what it felt like when he was a kid," Mia said, her hands shaking slightly. Ellie leaned in, her eyes wide with admiration. "You're so brave, Mia. I know we can do it together. Maybe we can come along, too. We can all share." Mia beamed, heart swelling. "Yes. We can make it a group thing. Let us show him the memories we've made at the playground, how it connects us as friends." Jake nodded, his quiet demeanor giving way to excitement. "And we should bring sketches. We can draw what the playground means to us." A renewed energy crackled in the air as the group brainstormed. They spent the day crafting drawings of the swings, slides, and the laughter that filled their afternoons. The little details, the sparkle of the sand, the circles they drew in the grass became treasures in their artwork. When the school day ended, they stood at the gates together, nerves fluttering in their stomachs. "Are we really going to do this?" Jake asked, the uncertainty creeping into his voice. "Absolutely," Mia replied, determination steadying her own racing heart. "We owe it to ourselves and to that boy in Mr. Thompson's past." They hopped on their bikes and rode to Mr. Thompson's office, the wind in their hair giving them courage. The sun dipped low, casting a patchwork of shadows on the ground. As they reached the towering building, Mia's heart thudded in her chest. What if he didn't care? What if he threw them out? With a deep breath, they approached the entrance. The receptionist looked surprised to see a group of kids, but Mia found her voice. Can we speak to Mr. Thompson? It's really important. After what felt like an eternity, they were led to his office. The imposing space seemed to reflect his stern demeanor. He looked up from his desk, surprise flickering over his face. What do you want? He asked, his tone clipped. Mia stepped forward, her heart racing. Mr. Thompson, we wanted to talk to you about the playground. It means so much to us, and I wanted to share my story with you. The room felt heavy with silence. The kids clustered behind her, their faces filled with earnestness. Mia swallowed hard, her voice shaking. I remember my first time swinging, how happy it made me feel. My mom used to take me there. It was our special place. And I want that for other kids, too. Mr. Thompson's gaze softened for just a moment as he glanced at their drawings, but then it hardened again. You kids need to understand, please. Ellie interrupted, her eyes wide and pleading. We're not just kids. We're a community. The playground is part of who we are. The intensity in the room crackled, and for a brief second, Mia thought she saw something flicker in Mr. Thompson's expression. It was a hint of nostalgia, maybe even pain. But then he turned away, dismissively. I have a business to run. You don't understand. A wave of disappointment threatened to drown them, but Mia fought back tears. As they left, a heavy silence hung between them. But Mia knew they had taken a step. And deep down, she felt a flicker of hope, a belief that maybe, just maybe, they had reached a part of him. Would the power of their stories be enough to truly connect with the boy inside the man? Would Mr. Thompson open his heart in the face of their unyielding spirit? The ride back home was quiet, a stark contrast to the excitement that had filled their earlier conversations. Mia kept replaying every moment in her mind, from the moment she stepped into Mr. Thompson's office to his cold dismissal. The drawings they had worked on felt like weights in her backpack, heavy reminders of their failed attempt to connect. Maybe we should have been louder, Jake suggested, breaking the silence as they reached the fork in the road where they would part ways. No, it wasn't that, Mia said, pushing a stray hair behind her ear. It's just, he doesn't understand. He doesn't see how much it means to us. Ellie looked thoughtful. What if we reach out again? Maybe we could write him a letter or even make a video. Mia's heart quickened at the suggestion. A video. That's a great idea. We could show all our drawings and talk about how the playground is important to every kid in the neighborhood. Nodding, her friend's expressions shifted from defeated to inspired. A wave of determination washed over Mia as she imagined the reactions of the kids playing, smiling, and laughing on swings and slides. They spent the next few days collecting their thoughts and ideas. After school, they huddled in Mia's living room, reviewing the sketches while brainstorming how to express their love for the playground on camera. They laughed and argued about which ideas were the best, their enthusiasm replacing any remnants of doubt. With every plan shot, Mia could feel the excitement swell within her. Okay, let us do this. We can show him the joy that playground brings. It's not just about swings and slides, it's about laughter, friendship, and being free. They recorded clips of each other talking about their favorite moments spent at the playground, accompanied by the drawings that encapsulated their memories. Mia watched her friends' faces light up as they shared stories of birthday parties and spontaneous games of tag. By the end of the day, they had created a heartfelt montage filled with laughter and genuine emotion. The night before they would send their video to Mr. Thompson, Mia couldn't sleep. She sat in bed, worrying if it would be enough. Could mere words and images convey the depths of their longing? Could they reach Mr. Thompson in a way that their voices had failed to do? She finally put pen to paper, scribbling down a heartfelt note. Dear Mr. Thompson, we really believe the playground is worth saving. It holds our memories and our dreams. Please give us a chance to show you. After sealing the envelope with the video clip, they sent it off the next morning, all of them anxiously waiting for a response. Days passed, and Mia felt a restless energy coursing through her. With each new day, she half hoped to see Mr. Thompson's car parked outside the school or to hear some word from him. The anticipation was nerve-wracking. Then, one afternoon, Mia's phone buzzed with a notification. Her heart stopped. It was an email from Mr. Thompson. With trembling fingers, she opened it, and her breath caught in her throat as she read, I watched your video, and it made me think I'd like to talk. Meet me at the park tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mia's heart raced. This was the moment they had yearned for. The flicker of hope had suddenly ignited into a flame. But as she read the message again, something deep within her stirred. What was he really thinking? Would he truly understand their love for the playground? Tomorrow would bring answers, but they would also come with nerves and uncertainty. Would Mr. Thompson finally open the door to his heart, or would they face another wall? She could hardly wait for the sun to rise, a mix of excitement and fear swelling in her chest. The next day dawned bright and clear, as if the universe was holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Mia woke up early, her stomach fluttering with a mix of excitement and dread. She felt like the whole world had narrowed down to the park, a place filled with echoes of laughter and memories. Today, every swing and slide would bear witness to their hopes. At school, the hours dragged. Classes seemed endless as Mia replayed her carefully chosen words over and over in her head. She could feel Jake and Ellie's nervous energy, too. They exchanged glances and whispered encouragements, but beneath their upbeat chatter lay an unspoken tension. Finally, the clock struck 3, and reality sank in like a stone. They left the building, walking toward the park with hesitant steps. Mia's heart raced, each beat pounding in her ears like a drum. When they reached the park, shadows stretched long across the grass. Mr. Thompson was already sitting on a bench, his expression unreadable. He looked up as they approached, his eyes narrowing slightly as if measuring the weight of their presence. Hi, Mr. Thompson, Mia said, her voice barely above a whisper. Thank you for meeting us. He nodded, his gaze drifting to the playground. I watched your video. It was different, he said slowly, choosing his words carefully. Mia's heart sank. Different? Was that a good different or a bad different? She glanced at her friends, noting the tension etched on their faces. It's important to us, Mia pressed, her voice gaining strength. The playground means so much to kids like us. It's a place where friends come together, where laughter fills the air. We want it to be saved. Mr. Thompson shifted in his seat, considering her words. He glanced toward the swings, where a couple of kids were playing gleefully. I get that. But running a community project isn't easy. There are costs, maintenance, and honestly, I don't have the budget to take it on. Mia's heart sank a little lower. But we can help. We can organize fundraisers, maybe get the whole community involved. There are so many kids who want to help save it. He looked at her, and for a moment, she thought she could see a glimmer of hope in his expression, but it vanished just as quickly as it appeared. Kids have good intentions, Mia, but it takes more than that. What you're asking is hard work. Jake jumped in now, his voice shaking but firm. We know it won't be easy. But nothing worthwhile is, right? We'll do whatever it takes. You won't be alone. Mr. Thompson stared at them, his face softening. I know you mean well, but what, Mr. Thompson? Ellie asked, stepping closer. You have to believe in us. We're passionate about this. After a long moment, Mr. Thompson sighed deeply and ran a hand through his hair. All right. I'll give the three of you a chance. But it needs to be real, and you'll have to prove to me that this playground matters to the whole community. Mia felt a rush of joy. They had a chance. But there was still so much to be done. "Thank you," Mia said, her heart swelling with hope. "We won't to let you down." As they all stood there, the tension began to lift, replaced with a sense of purpose and determination. Yet, a flicker of doubt wormed its way back into her mind. Was it enough? Just then, a little girl, no older than 6, ran up to the swings beside them, her laughter ringing out like a chime. Mia watched her, a sweetness filling her heart, but unease lingered. What did Mr. Thompson really expect from them? And could they rally the community behind their cause? The sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a golden light that felt warm but also pressed down on them. Their road was just beginning. Tomorrow, new challenges awaited as they took their first steps towards saving something they loved. But were they ready to carry the weight of a whole community's dreams upon their shoulders? The next morning brought with it a fresh wave of determination. Mia woke up early, her vision still lit with the memory of last night's conversation. Her heart felt lighter, filled with a sense of purpose. This was their mission now, a chance to save not just a playground, but their community. As the sun broke over the horizon, she texted Jake and Ellie. They needed to meet, to brainstorm and map out their plan. Within the hour, they were gathered around a picnic table in the park, a fresh breeze whipping through the trees. "Okay," Mia said, spreading out her notes and scribbled ideas. "We need to think big. Fundraisers, social media campaigns, maybe even community events." Jake grinned, enthusiasm bubbling beneath the surface. "What about a bake sale? Everyone loves cookies, right? We could even partner with the local bakery for some special treats." Ellie's eyes sparkled as she jumped in. "And a car wash. We can get a bunch of kids together to help. It'll be fun and messy." The ideas flew fast and thick, each one bringing a dash of excitement. But as they scribbled down plans, a strange thought flickered at the back of Mia's mind. What if they didn't have enough support? They needed to get the word out, to touch hearts and rally the community behind them. "Guys, we should make a poster," Mia suggested. "Something colorful that tells everyone what we're doing. A video like we did before." Jake chimed in. "We can share it on the school's social media and maybe even create a hashtag to spread the word." Ellie took a deep breath. "But what if no one shows up?" Her brow furrowed with worry. "What if we do all this and it doesn't work?" Mia reached out, placing a hand on Ellie's arm. She felt the weight of fear creeping in again. "We can't think like that. Remember why we're doing this. For the kids, for the laughter, for the memories." That flicker of doubt was quickly replaced with conviction as they brainstormed more ideas, filling the ground beneath them with a sense of hope. There had to be a way to connect with the bigger community, to make the right people aware. After several hours, they finally settled on a plan. A community meeting at the park, where friends and families could come share their thoughts and hear about the campaign. They could invite local businesses to participate too. As they finalized their thoughts, something unusual caught Mia's eye. A little girl, the same one who had played by the swings the evening before, was at the edge of the playground. She stood alone, clutching a ragged doll, her face tilted up toward the sun. With a nod to her friends, Mia walked over. "Hey there," she said gently. The girl looked up, wide-eyed. "I love this playground," she whispered, clutching her doll tighter. "My friends come here every day. We play pretend and have picnics." Mia knelt down to her level. "That's wonderful. We're trying to save this playground so you and your friends can keep coming here to play." The girl's eyes sparkled, but she seemed unsure. "But the grown-ups say it costs too much money." Mia felt a tug at her heart. "What if you helped us tell them how important this place is? Your smile and that spirit of yours might be the key we need." The little girl beamed, her worry melting away. "I'll help," she chirped. Mia stood up, feeling a rush of warmth at the unexpected connection. "Thank you, sweetheart. Every bit helps. We're all in this together." But as Mia turned back to rejoin her friends, her mind flickered with the thought of the girl's sincerity. The playground meant something to the kids, but was that going to be enough to convince the whole community? That night, as the stars blinked into existence above, Mia couldn't shake the question, what truly brought a community together? And could this little girl's contagious joy be the spark they needed? A bigger plan was forming in her mind, one she hoped would shine through the doubts. Tomorrow would be vital, as they prepared to face those challenges head-on. However, just as the light dimmed, a new thought popped into her head. What if, in their mission to save the playground, they uncovered a hidden truth about one of their beloved community members that would change everything? The next day dawned with a determination that felt almost electric. Mia, Jake, and Ellie met again at the park, their spirits soaring with the ideas they had sketched out. The little girl, whom they learned was named Lily, was now a part of their group, her radiant smile illuminating their shared enthusiasm. "Okay, let us get this poster thing going," Mia announced, excitement threaded in every word. They quickly gathered materials, feeling the warm sun on their backs as they made their way over to a large piece of cardboard. "What about a catchy slogan?" Jake asked, scribbling a few ideas down on a notepad. "Something like, 'Save our swing set.' Or 'Keep the laughter alive.'" Ellie hugged her knees, kicking at the grass thoughtfully. "Those sound great, but we need something that really pulls at the heartstrings. We want everyone to feel it." Inspired, Mia took a deep breath, images of the children playing flooding her mind. "How about this playground is our heartbeat? It represents every joyful moment that lives here." With Ellie and Jake's approval, they got to work, color splashes flying from paint tubes. They laughed, cheerful giggles echoing through the park, and even Lily joined in, dabbing paint joyfully on the cardboard. As they painted, Mia noticed the changing expressions on children's faces as they passed by. Some stopped, their little eyes wide with curiosity, while others shot calculating glances from their parents. It felt good to draw attention, it felt almost transformative. With their masterpiece complete, they took a step back. The bold letters announcing their cause danced in the summer breeze, and Mia felt warmth bloom within. This wasn't just a poster, it was a ripple in the water, and they were creating waves. "Now we need to spread the word," Jake said, eyes sparkling. "Let us take pictures of this and post it everywhere. We can even plan a fun presentation. What if each of us shared a story from the playground?" Ellie nodded vigorously. "Yes. It's about more than just keeping the swings, it's about our memories." As they packed their supplies, their phones erupted with messages from classmates, each text a new cheerleader for their cause, their own circle expanding with the help of social media. But amidst the celebration, a thought pricked at the back of Mia's mind. She remembered the little girl's earlier comment how grown-ups didn't believe it was worth saving. It gnawed at her. They needed more than just a poster. They needed to make it personal. "Tomorrow," Mia said, a steely resolve in her eyes. "Let us invite parents to the park for a meeting. We'll share our stories. Let us talk about the memories built here, how it's part of our roots." The group nodded in agreement, the weight of Mia's idea sinking in. It felt big. But while Mia was focused on their plans, unbeknownst to her, a figure emerged from the shadows, a man in a tailored suit, watching them closely, intrigued by the innocent determination of these kids and something about their passion stirring a deep, long-buried memory within him. As Mia turned her back to adjust their poster, the man approached, his heart pounding for reasons he didn't yet fully understand. What secrets lay behind his stoic demeanor? And could the unearthing of a surprising past change everything for Mia and her friends? That thought lingered sweetly in the air, filled with both promise and apprehension, pulling Mia closer to mysteries yet to unfold. The sun shone brightly the next day, but Mia's heart felt heavy with anticipation. As she stood in the park, surrounded by her friends, they couldn't shake the nerves coursing through them. They had rallied their classmates, and parents had been invited to hear about the playground's importance. This was their moment. "Are we ready?" Ellie asked, fixing her hair and stealing glances at the gathering crowd. Mia took a deep breath, clutching the stack of flyers with determination. "We've got this, guys. Remember, it's all about sharing our stories, the laughter and the memories. They need to understand what this playground means to us." With that, they took their places in front of the small assembly of parents and children. The sight of their community stirred something special in her heart, a reminder of why they were fighting. She stepped forward and looked out at the faces, some familiar, others new. "Thank you for coming. We've gathered today because the playground isn't just a place to play, it's a part of who we are." Her voice wavered, but she pressed on. "It's where friendships grew, where imagination soared, and where memories were made." One by one, her friends joined her, each sharing snippets of their joyful moments at the playground, the first time swinging high enough to touch the clouds, laughter echoing in summer air, and gathering for impromptu picnics in the grass. Mia's heart swelled as she watched the parents nodding, some even smiling, their faces softening with nostalgia. She felt hope igniting like embers glowing back to life. Just as the momentum built, Mia spotted a figure in the back, a man in a sharp suit. Her breath hitched as recognition bloomed. It was Mr. Thompson. The sharp lines of his face softened slightly as he observed the gathering. Would he listen? "Today, we want to ask for your support," Mia declared, meeting the eyes of the crowd. "This playground is our heartbeat. Please help us save it." As she spoke, she noticed Mr. Thompson stepping forward, drawn by the energy, a magnetic pull that seemed to bridge the gap they built earlier. "Good afternoon," he said unexpectedly, his voice steady yet vulnerable. "I've heard what you all have to say. I watched your video, and now, I see you standing here, passionate and brave. I understand the importance of community." The crowd fell silent, leaning in as they processed his words. "We can't forget our roots," he continued, eyes locking onto Mia's. "When I was a child, this playground was my sanctuary. It holds memories that shaped who I am." Mia's heart raced. "It seems," he paused, a flicker of emotion crossing his face, "that I lost part of myself while focusing solely on business." His admission hung thick in the air, but it felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Today, I choose to reconnect with those memories," he declared. "I want to join you. Together, let us save the playground. Let us make it a place that fosters joy for generations to come." Gasps of surprise erupted among the crowd, followed by wild cheers and clapping. Mia's heart exploded with joy. Could it be true? As Mr. Thompson continued sharing his vision of revitalizing the playground, he expressed sincerity in wanting to support their fundraisers and community efforts. That little girl Lily gathered courage and approached him. "Will you play with us, Mr. Thompson?" she asked innocently, clutching her ragged doll. Mr. Thompson's expression transformed, his face softened into a sincere smile. "I'd love that," he promised, kneeling down to her level. "Let us make sure this playground is filled with laughter once more." The energy was palpable, a wave of warmth breaking through all their fears. He had looked within, rediscovering the child he once was. With revitalized hope, Mia felt her heart swell with gratitude. She glanced at her friends, their smiles mirroring her own, as families rallied around them. The community was alive, pulsing with renewed purpose. Mia stepped up beside Mr. Thompson. "Together, we can make this playground thrive, filled with laughter, community, and hope. It's about all of us, not just our stories, but the stories we'll continue to write." Cheers erupted as the crowd erupted into applause, uniting in their shared mission to breathe life into the playground. Mia leaned in, warmth rising within her as she whispered, "Thank you," to Mr. Thompson. They were no longer adversaries, they were allies in a fresh journey towards something beautiful. As laughter filled the park, Mia finally felt like they were all part of a bigger picture, one where love, hope, and connection intertwined, creating an unbreakable bond that transcended their pasts. Today wasn't just about saving a playground, it was about discovering the strength of community, stepping forward together to forge brighter tomorrows. So here they stood, at the cusp of a beautiful transformation, a family discovering not only each other but the power of unity. And as they played, dreams blossomed, radiating joy that would echo through time, a reminder that amidst every challenge, hope always finds a way to shine. Now, this is your chance. You need to subscribe now to catch the next exclusive stories and transformations. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep the positivity flowing. Comment your reactions and feelings about this fantastic ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring journey. Only true fans know how important it is to support the channel through these actions. Let us spread the love.